Hello again and welcome to Tips with Andrew. I am Andrew Sapiano. Thank you so much for joining me on this happy Tuesday. What a Tuesday we're having. We had some big snowstorm last night and we are definitely reaping the, I guess we'll call it benefits of that last night. To be fair, it looks like really awesome weather to be playing football in. But I don't know, I guess we're supposed to have some next storm coming because it's still here. And what can you do? That's all right, though. Snow's awesome to look at, not so much to drive in and be a part of and all that stuff. Shoveling doesn't look like much fun out there today, though. But what can you do? That's okay. We keep a positive mindset. We power through. And we get it. Yeah, we get it. Quick update before we get started. This month only, when you enroll in 150 PV order or more, doTERRA is giving away $50 in free product points. So if you're interested in getting free stuff from doTERRA, now is definitely the time to, at the very least, inquire about that. And if that's something that you're interested in, definitely drop me a comment, send me a message, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. What I wanted to talk a little bit today about is the benefits of having a plan. Everybody talks about, planning, goal setting, right? It's Tuesday, right? Getting the week off on the right foot, having a plan for the week, right? And as much as we know we should have a plan, a lot of us don't know why we should have a plan, or, what's the point of having a plan, or, what difference does it make? I will start with a quote from Winston Churchill. He said, "When you fail to plan, you plan to fail." And that actually, another quick story before we get into it. If you think of it as a boat, a sail, a ship, right? Setting sail, and you give it a destination, a crew, a captain, and you send it on its voyage. Most of the time, right, 9,999 times out of 10,000, it will make it to that destination because it has the plan in place and the people that can carry it out. But think about that same ship. You don't give it a destination, you don't give it a crew, you don't give it a captain, and if it even makes it off the shore, the harbor, it's... I mean, maybe it'll make it somewhere. It'll definitely make it somewhere, but we have no idea where. And that's really what you need to think of in terms of having a plan for your life. Your workout, your diet, your exercise, your sleeping, perhaps your fun life, right? Your ways to calm down. So we need to have a plan for everything, and it all needs to fit into one master plan, right? So as much as it seems like a lot of work, there are tons of benefits to it, and that's where I come in. I wanted to give a couple that I found that helped me, and hopefully they help you too. Let's get right into it. So tip number one is a plan increases efficiency. It just allows you to know think about your plan, right? You have, this is the goal, right? That's where you want to be. And then you've got your steps broken down all the way. Pretty much from step one all the way up until the goal gets reached. So with that in mind, you know exactly which steps have to take, where you're going in the process, and you understand you also understand where you're coming from, right? So you know what you've done, and you know where you're going, and now you know that if it's working because you're continuing on the right path, or it's not working because you're kind of side shifting and you're drifting off, you're letting the current take you, right? So that's right away a huge benefit of having a plan, especially if you're working with people, right? If you're in sort of like a business environment setting, and you need to have a group of people come together, or if you're part of some sort of like workout group, running, I don't know what they're called, but a group, we'll call it again, and that way it allows you, and especially like think about the efficiency it's increasing when, for example, you have a workout plan, right? You go into the gym, you know exactly what you're doing, exactly how long you're going to be doing it for at every rep. If you go into the gym and you're just like, all right, let's go work out, boom. What do you start with, right? You start upper body, you start lower body, you stretch, you run, right? If you go in there without a plan, you don't really understand what you're trying to do, and that way, and what happens then, you spend a good, at least 5, 10, 15 minutes before you actually figure out where you want to go and what you want to start with. And that way you're just taking more extra time that either A, you don't have, or B, you can't afford to waste on, monotonous decisions that should have already been made. If you are dieting and you don't have a plan when you go out to eat, you go to a restaurant, you more often than not are going to derail your weight loss plans right away. If you don't have a plan when you're going grocery shopping, you are more often than not going to buy the stuff that looks good as opposed to is good. So definitely increasing efficiency in your plan is going to be the number one benefit of having a plan. Tip number 2, I like how this flows together, keeps you on track. This is what I mentioned before. You know exactly where you're coming from and where you're going, and you know which step is next to be taken on the ladder. You also know whether or not those steps are working, right? So if you're taking steps and you're going towards your goal, cool. You know you're on track, you know you're going the right way, and you can keep going that way. If you, however, are taking steps and you're going this way, when you're trying to go that way, you know that you're getting off track, right? Think about a literal track with a train. Trains are going, and then they know at a certain point they need to go off track because they need to be on this side of the tracks. And then they have that connector track that kind of goes and moves them along that way, right? So there's not the whole track can move that way. There's just a certain point where they can shift off to the side and then go this way and then stay on the course to going to where they need to go to reach their final destination, right? So that's exactly the way that you need to think about your plans on a daily basis. It will keep you on track. I'm picking on the workouts, but if you have a plan when you're working out, you know exactly what you're doing at the current moment. You know exactly what you want to do next, and you know exactly if that's going to keep you on track towards going to what you want to do, right? If your plan is to, today's leg day, then you know exactly what machines you want to work on at exactly amount of time, at exactly the point of time, and then you go to the next machine, and then you go to the next machine, and then you keep doing that because you know that you have your plan, and you know that you're keeping on track because I wanted to stay on leg day, so I'm doing the squats, and then I'm doing the lunges, and then I'm doing the calf raises and all that, right? And if you start doing bicep curls, you know you're off track because it's leg day, right? So that's it's an easy way to keep yourself going in the right direction towards the end game. Number 3 helps you set priorities. I like this one because this way you can have your list of things that you need to do, and then from this list you can decide what needs to be done, put that at the top of the list, and then what can kind of wait until later can be put at the bottom of the list, so you can keep your efficiency, right? You can keep increasing your efficiency and you get what needs to be done. What's that? There's a book called Eat That Frog, and basically what that book is about is completing all of the toughest tasks first thing in the morning, right? So you tend to put off the tough tasks because you want to get a whole bunch of easy things done, and that makes you feel good, and you got a whole bunch of easy things done, and now you're met with this big massive project. Now, that's not always a bad thing because you want to cross things off your list to give yourself some motivation to keep going. But at the same time, when you've done all the little things and you don't really have that much energy left, and now you have this big, massive project to tackle and you need to get it done, start that pot of coffee because we're going to be up all night, or at least for the majority of it. So what you want to do is more often than not, try and get the most important task done right at the beginning of the day, because then that gives you what it does is it makes you feel better about the rest of the task for the day, because you have only easy things left to do. But also it takes that big weight off of your shoulders, because this big massive project is done now, and you can keep going on the little things, and then your priorities are, boom, 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 you've got them all set up. Having a plan definitely helps you to set your priorities, because then you know what needs to be done, and you can plan you can plan your day around that. Oh, thank you, Haley. Love it. My next tip can keep you motivated. I like this one because this sort of piggybacks on what I just talked about in terms of getting things done and keeping you going. This was one of the things that I had to learn real fast, and really for a long time, it still gets me, list making. Tina was the master of it. She's got a list for lists, and then a master list, and then the whole year list, and then this list for that, and then this list over here, and a list to make sure we got all the lists in priority and all that. And I was like, wow, what's the point of all that? Until I started list making, and list making is actually very beneficial. It's kind of sort of a stress relieving type thing too, because what it does is when you cross things off your list, you definitely get more motivated. What you start doing, I know myself, what I started doing is just putting things on the list just so I cross them off and make myself feel good, right? I didn't have brush my teeth on my list, but I brushed my teeth so I can cross that off. Heck yeah. I didn't have, drink a glass of water on my list, but I did it, so I'm going to put it on there so I can cross it off. And then that just makes me feel better about keeping going on doing more tasks, getting more accomplished, putting more things on my list so I can get them done, because it keeps me motivated to keep going, and it keeps me being happy. And then when I'm happy, I tend to keep doing things that make me more happy. That may be a weird thing for me, but when I'm, I like to be happy. My next tip is to help you stay on schedule. I like this one because it's very easy to get really off track very easily. And another side tip for this one is to sort of set an alarm. Give yourself a certain amount of time to do a specific task. I read something somewhere that if you give yourself an hour to do a task, it's going to take an hour. But if you give yourself 10 minutes to do that task, it's going to take 10 minutes. That's really the power of your brain and your mind going nuts on that one. One of the things you can do to train yourself on that one is to stop doing the task that you're doing at, say 10-minute mark, right? The 10-minute mark, you stop doing it. And then that way your brain knows that you only have 10 minutes to be doing this task. You don't have all day, you're a busy person. You don't have time to be doing all that stuff. So you need to stay on task, on schedule. And when you've got a plan, or when you've got a timer, right, you can time yourself and be able to give yourself, more time throughout the day to finish other tasks, so that you're not spending too much time on this one task that keeps you. I don't know. There's a word I'm looking for, but yeah, when you're not finishing it, and so that's the benefit of your plan, keeping you on task, on schedule, and you're a busy person. You don't have all day to be doing everything. You need to be able to do it in a certain amount of time. So that's where you train your mind to only have X amount of time to do it, and you will find that you are able to do it in that amount of time. That one's huge. I loved when I realized the power of that one. My next tip is it provides accountability. Now this one has a lot to do with if you're in a group setting, so that everybody knows the plan and we all know whether or not we're doing what we're supposed to do. So that way you can have accountability, right? You can be accountable, you can provide accountability, and somebody can be accountable to you. You can be accountable. The goal, right? You have the goal up here. You know the plan. These are the steps right here. So if you're not doing your step or your part, you're holding the team back. You're holding the whole game plan back. And that's where, as people, as humans, we like to tap into that competitiveness, I guess we'll call it. And we don't like to be the weak link. There's that one show, The Weakest Link. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Nobody likes to be the weakest link, right? Think of Survivor, the show Survivor. The weakest person gets voted off the island. The one that isn't pulling their weight, that isn't, helping the team to progress to the ultimate goal that they have. So that's where that's where the list making, right, the planning would definitely provide accountability. You can understand what you're doing, what you need to do, and how your part of what you're doing factors into the whole game plan and helps the team as a whole. My next tip, it helps to manage stress. I like this one. What's this? Tip number 7, manage stress, because this is exactly what happens, right? When you have a goal that you want to reach and you have no idea how you're going to get there, you just stress yourself out on trying to figure out what I'm going to do, right? If you have a goal of, I want to make $1 million, right? But you have no idea how you're going to get to $1 million, it can seem very much overwhelming. Or if you've never seen $1 million before in your life, it can be very overwhelming to picture that, right? To understand how much effort needs to go into achieving that goal, how much time you actually need to put forth in that. So that's where planning, list making, understanding the steps that you're taking, that's definitely going to help you manage stress, because it's definitely going to help you to calm down a little bit and to just understand that, as much as there's a lot to do, there's not a lot to do, right? We need to do this, then we need to do this, then we need to do this. Until we finish this, we can't even look at the next part of it, because we don't know whether or not we're even going to be able to finish this. And that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to take on too much all at once, because that's when you'll get stressed out, overwhelmed, you'll create burnout, right? So, have a plan, create a plan, have your goal, get your plan to do it. It'll save you a lot of time, effort, energy, and it'll make your crew more efficient. My last tip, more than anything, is essential oils. I love using essential oils for everything, and helping you stay productive, focus on task is definitely a great benefit of essential oils. Essential oils like lemongrass. This one's actually good for it's a citrus oil, so it's naturally uplifting, right? Invigorating. This one's actually great to diffuse at the office if you have bug problems. It's a natural bug repellent. Another oil like geranium is actually one that can help you feel. It's actually called like the poor man's rose. So it's great for calming, relaxing. It actually it provides you the scent of a fresh spring flowers. Right? It makes you really feel like you're in the summertime, the springtime, like and think about the springtime, right? There's not a whole lot that goes wrong in the springtime. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just that almost perfect weather. And that's the time that we love more than anything. And then my last oil is peppermint. A fun fact actually about peppermint is it's one of those oils that if you inhale it while you're studying for a test, or going through your notes for a presentation, and then you inhale it again before you take that test or before you give that presentation, you can actually recall all the memories that you have. So it's a very powerful oil in that sense, that it helps you to recall past information that you've maybe suppressed or maybe forgot, or maybe is not at the forefront of your mind, but peppermint will definitely help it to bring it there. That's all I got for you for today. Thank you so much for joining me. My benefits for having a plan: number 1, it increases efficiency. Number 2, keeps you on track. Number 3, helps you set priorities. Number 4, can help keep you motivated. Number 5, helps you stay on schedule. Number 6, provides accountability. Number 7, helps manage stress. And my bonus tip, essential oils. I love them. If you give them a chance, you'll love them too. That's all I got for you for today. I hope you got some value out of this. I know I had some fun making it. Feel free to share this with your friends, family member, perhaps somebody from your team that you feel needs to hear this. If you'd like to learn more about essential oils or how to get your hands on some of this cool stuff that I'm talking about, definitely drop me a comment, send me a message. We'll get you rocking and rolling. That's all I got for you for today. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday and an awesome rest of your week. I look very forward to talking to you again. I love you guys. Bye for now.